does the Uhia produce antifungal chemicals, or does it grow tissue between the fungus and its own tissue to protect itself?
All trees do that. They grow tissue to protect itself, but leucohea, in most cases, seems to be able to leapfrog over that. Ohia is not really very good at that, sealing itself off and stopping the progression of it. But maybe that is the mechanism that why we see some resistance or some tolerance. So maybe those ones that are tolerant, maybe they have a little bit thicker cell walls, so they're a little bit better at blocking off the vessels. In other trees, other pathosystems where they've studied it for a lot longer, and they've done a lot of the cellular level microscopic work, they found that even some cultivars are resistant because they're able to block off that disease, whereas other cultivars aren't. So that may be the mechanism that we may be seeing some Ohia that are resistant or tolerant to the disease. Yes.
Thank you. So I just really connected the dots and realized how much of a problem ungulates are with rapid Ohia death. And I'm wondering if, this is really any efforts for eradication, given that this is a really good reason.
So actually going into this, with this data, this is one of the Forestry and Wildlife's efforts going forward, and they have a substantial part of this year's budget, which is still in play, for protecting areas. One of the key areas, again, is they've built fences that they haven't been able to get all the animals out of yet. So building a fence but not getting animals out is worse than not even building a fence. So doing that, but prioritizing other areas. Where can we have areas that are managed for hunting, which we want areas managed for hunting, where areas that we want managed to protect native forest, and do that. So DLNR is the largest landowner in the state, is definitely doing that. Other things such as this side of the island, the Coney unit of the National Wildlife Refuge still needs to work on getting, their priority there is getting animals out of units that are already fenced.
Could you explain what's happening Thursday night on PBS?
Thursday night on PBS, we are having an interview with 4 people, including myself and Dr. Keith. Do you remember what time it is?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, PBS is having an interview on rapid Ohia death. This Thursday.
I wonder if there's any money to expand your high focus areas. You might include the Makaulapoma Forest Reserve, because it's the only recreational forest for the people here in this corner area. And it is half of it is a beautiful, pristine Ohia forest. I mean, 90% of the trees in there are Ohias. And very healthy right now. But we're surrounded by ranches. There's a fence, there's pigs in there, but that's not the only animal under it. But we're surrounded by ranches, and it'd be interesting to track data to see, are we surrounded by this Ohia death sometimes soon in the future, or is it holding steady? So if that could become a study area, a high focus area, that'd be, I think, very useful for the community.
Thanks for that suggestion. Yeah, as far as the high focus repeated observation of it, that's a good idea. As far as what Bill was talking about, the Big Island Invasive Species Committee, that's definitely one of the areas that, symptomatic trees we want to follow up on. I mean, Colloquial and North is just incipient, and we want to prioritize trying to manage the incipient stuff. So that's definitely a priority area.
I'd just like to make a comment. Thanks to all of you and all of the agencies and different arms that are involved for being proactive and not going the way of the frogs. Okay?
Thank you. We will go the way of the frogs.